While Sigma males quietly create their own path, they often find themselves at the receiving end of criticism. Their unconventional lifestyle and independent mindset can be misunderstood and unfairly judged, provoking strong reactions from others. But why do these lone wolves attract so much negative attention? They never set out to cause trouble or offend anyone, so why do they end up being the target of criticism? From their nonconformity to their reserved nature, here are 7 reasons why the Sigma male gets so much criticism. Number 1. He can't be controlled or manipulated. It's really hard to fool a Sigma, and because of that, many people don't like him. People often try to control or manipulate others to get what they want, but with a Sigma, they quickly find out it's not that easy. He's too smart and observant to fall for their tricks, and this can make others feel uneasy or threatened. This makes him a problem for those who love to be in control since they can't get away with it. He stands his ground and doesn't budge easily, making certain people feel powerless and annoyed. Because a Sigma male is so independent, he doesn't follow the crowd or bend to peer pressure. He won't just go along with what everyone else is doing, especially if he thinks it's wrong or pointless. His strong will and refusal to be controlled make him seem stubborn and difficult to some people. They might think he's just trying to be difficult or rebellious, but he's really just holding true to his principles and beliefs. The Sigma man values his freedom and autonomy above all else, so he doesn't let anyone dictate how he should live his life. This can irritate people who think they know best and try to push their ideas on him. They find it hard to understand why he wouldn't want to follow their lead or accept their advice, but for a Sigma, it's simple. He trusts his judgment above all others. He's confident in his decisions and prefers to carve his own path, even if it means going against the grain. People also criticize him because they think he's too aloof or standoffish. Instead of seeing his need for independence as a strength, they view it as a flaw. They might accuse him of being antisocial or unfriendly because he's not always eager to join group activities or follow social norms. But he just prefers his own company instead of small talk or fake friends. Number 2. He tells it like it is, even if people don't want to hear it. People don't always like honesty, especially when it doesn't match what they want to hear. It can make them uncomfortable or even defensive. But for a Sigma, honesty is non-negotiable. He calls things as he sees them, no sugarcoating, just the truth. This straightforward attitude often gets him into trouble. People may think he's being harsh or rude, but he's just being real. Sigma men are known for their blunt, no-nonsense communication style. They don't beat around the bush or pretend to agree just to keep the peace. If something is wrong or doesn't make sense, they'll say it outright. This can be refreshing but also jarring for those who prefer diplomatic conversations. Some folks might label the Sigma male as tactless or confrontational, but he sees no point in sugarcoating things. He won't shy away from speaking the truth, even if it goes against the majority. This can make him a target for criticism because people don't like having their beliefs or ideas challenged. They might accuse him of being a troublemaker or trying to stir up conflict. This strong sense of integrity isn't always understood or appreciated. While some respect this man for his honesty, many see it as a threat. They may feel intimidated by his confidence and certainty, especially if they've been avoiding facing the truth themselves. The Sigma's ability to cut through the nonsense and get straight to the point can be unsettling, making people defensive or even resentful. Criticism comes from those who would rather live in comfort than confront uncomfortable truths. While the Sigma male isn't afraid to face reality, others may try to avoid or deny it. This can cause tension between him and those who want to maintain a facade of perfection or conformity. Number 3, he challenges the status quo. Most people go with the flow, sticking to what society expects. They follow trends, listen to popular opinions, and do what everyone else is doing. It's like an unspoken rule that fitting in is the only way to get ahead. But the Sigma man is different. He sees the world in his own way and isn't afraid to break the rules if no one gets hurt in the process. He's not trying to be a rebel or cause chaos. He just tries to understand why things are the way they are and whether there's a better way. This mindset can make him stand out, but not always in a positive light. People who benefit from the status quo might feel threatened by his questioning of it. They might even criticize him for not following the rules or trying to change the system. But his actions are not born out of a need for attention or to be different. It's just his natural curiosity and desire for improvement. That's why many people can't stand Sigma males in the workplace. They don't understand why these thinkers can't just go with the flow and not make waves. But the Sigma doesn't want to settle for mediocrity or blindly accept things as they are. He just wants to understand and challenge what doesn't make sense to him, and that's something many people can't handle or accept simply because it's out of their comfort zone. They may even try to suppress his ideas, fearing that they threaten their own positions, and that's a sad reality Sigma men face. Many end up leaving traditional work structures to pursue their own paths. Number 4, he is unpredictable and hard to read. It's really annoying when you don't know what to expect from someone. It makes it hard not to judge them, even if you don't fully understand them. That's how people feel about the Sigma male. They can't figure him out, and that makes them uneasy. When something or someone feels unfamiliar, people usually criticize and try to put labels on it. The same thing happens with Sigma men. They're unpredictable and hard to read, which some people don't like. These individuals are not the ones to follow the status quo. They do things their way, even if it means going against what others expect or want from them. This unpredictability can make people feel out of control and uncomfortable. It's human nature to fear the unknown, but Sigma males use it to their advantage. They're not afraid to challenge the norms or take risks, and that can be intimidating for some. In a society where everyone is trying to fit in and follow a certain path, Sigma men stand out. They don't conform or seek validation from others, so they can be hard to categorize or understand. Some might see this as a flaw or lack of social skills, but it's just their way of being true to themselves. They're not interested in playing by society's rules, which can make them seem like an enigma to those who are. People tend to think the worst when they don't understand someone. They might call him a loner or say he thinks he's better than everyone else because he doesn't always explain himself or justify his actions. People fill the gaps with their own assumptions, often leading to unfair criticism. Number 5, he won't be friends with just anyone. It's easy to look at someone from the outside and make assumptions about their life, their choices, and their intentions. This is especially true for Sigma, who often gets a lot of criticism because he's selective about his friends. Unlike others who might try to be everyone's friend, he'd rather have a few real connections than many fake ones. Some people don't get this and think he's arrogant, but he just values quality over quantity when it comes to friendships. He doesn't waste time with those who take advantage, manipulate, or mistreat others. He can spot insincerity and doesn't want to be associated with it. While others might put up with toxic people to avoid being alone, the Sigma man doesn't see the point. He's perfectly okay with his own company and would rather wait for the right people to come along than settle for fake ones. This can make him seem picky or even snobbish, but he's simply not willing to compromise his standards. He's not interested in small talk, so he only opens up to those he feels are worth it. This can make others feel left out or unimportant, which leads to criticism. They might think he's being rude or antisocial, but he's just protecting his own peace and happiness. Sigma prefers deep, meaningful conversations over mindless chatter. They want friends who understand and respect their need for space and independence. That's why they come off as picky or hard to please, but it's just their way of keeping their circle tight and real. Some folks might take his selectiveness the wrong way. They might think the Sigma male is judging or looking down on them, but that's not the case. He's just looking for those like-minded individuals who share his values and principles. He wants friends who will challenge and inspire him, not hold him back or bring drama into his life. So while Sigma men may face their fair share of criticism, they know who they are and what they stand for. They won't conform or compromise their identity to please others, even if it means being criticized. Number 6. Your status won't impress him. People are so easily impressed by status. Society tends to praise those with fancy titles, big houses, or loads of money. It's almost like a reflex. Seeing someone with a high status makes people think they are more important or better than others. Everyone wants to be close to them, follow their lead, or even copy them. But that's not how the Sigma man sees things. These individuals operate differently. They have nothing against people with high status, but they don't see it as something that makes someone better or more worthy of respect. They care more about a person's character, values, and actions than what's on the surface. Because they live outside these social hierarchies, they don't need to chase titles or impress others to prove their worth. This mindset often gets the Sigma male a lot of criticism. People might think he is disrespectful or arrogant because he doesn't show the same admiration for status symbols. They can't understand why he's not fawning over the CEO or trying to befriend the popular crowd. They might even accuse him of being jealous or resentful without realizing that he simply has no interest in playing their status game. The Sigma man has nothing against these individuals, but he won't let their status dictate his actions or views. This attitude makes it challenging to fit into traditional social circles. He doesn't thrive on being praised by those in high places, and he won't change his behavior to gain their approval. Some people might see this as a weakness or lack of ambition, but it's just not how the Sigma operates. He's more concerned with living life on his own terms than climbing the social ladder. He prefers authenticity over appearances and respects people for who they are, not what they own or who they know. Number 7. He doesn't talk unnecessarily. People often think that if you don't talk much, you must not know anything. It's a common belief that those who stay quiet are either shy or clueless, but that's not the case with Sigma. While he may not be the most talkative person in the room, he doesn't need to be. He's not one to talk unless he has something meaningful or relevant to say. Sigma men are selective with their words. You won't see them filling every silence or engaging in small talk just for the sake of it. They don't need to constantly express their thoughts or opinions, especially if it adds no value. They prefer to listen and observe, only speaking up when they have something important to contribute. This quiet nature can make some people uncomfortable. They may mistake it for arrogance or disinterest, but that's just their perception. They may even think that Sigma is hiding something or not being transparent, which can only create further misunderstandings. But just because he doesn't talk much doesn't mean he's not paying attention or has nothing to say. He's just more thoughtful and intentional with his words. Why speak when there's nothing meaningful to say?